Okay, hey guys, welcome back. I am so excited about today's video because we are doing another pattern release. Can I just say first of all that I've been crushing the pattern release game. I feel like this is my fourth one since the beginning of the summer, and I used to release like 1 to 2 every year. Basically, I have been so obsessed with knitting oversized sweaters this fall. So there's this one that I made in my knitting a sweater in 1 day video, and I usually use my friend Kara's basic open knit pattern, or like not the pattern exactly, but just that kind of methodology, but I've yet to see a similar pattern for crochet. So I have this mesh pullover that I made, oh god, I want to say like 2 years ago now. And I actually originally used this multicolored yarn to make this very weird bolero. I literally think I archived the photo on Instagram because I was like, this is so odd. I ended up taking it apart and then mixing it with another yarn. So I don't know if you can tell, like the stripes on the sleeves, that blue yarn is a different yarn. And I figured now that it's getting colder, it'd be the perfect time to release just like a very versatile general pattern that you can use to make an oversized sweater with like any yarn and any hook size. As always, this is not like a full-blown video tutorial. It's more like a process vlog that you can follow along with, where I make the sweater and write the pattern. And by the time you see this video, the pattern will be out. I kind of cheated. I already started. I landed on this yarn combo. So this is like a color changing, maybe it's a merino. I actually don't know because I lost the label by the time I pulled it out of my stash, and I paired it with this really pretty mohair. I'm also not sure where this is from. So here's what we have so far. We're working from the bottom up. So this first round is like the desired circumference of the sweater. And one other thing to keep in mind is that you can make the bottom of your sweater more cinched or more flared. So you can see on this knit one, like the sleeves kind of balloon out and then cinch at the bottom, versus on this crochet one, they kind of like naturally get a little bit wider. I kind of like the more cinched look, so I actually did kind of like a tighter starting chain. Also, since in this video I'm not only showing you how to make the sweater, but also how I develop my patterns, I wanted to give you a quick look at the tool I use for all my project and pattern planning. It's called Milanote, and the best way to show you is just with my own boards. So here I have this board with all my pattern releases. I love changing the little icons to match the pattern names. So you can see the Mesh Me Up button up as a little fish, like a fisherman's net. And we can go ahead and click into my board for this specific pattern. Under planning, the first thing I have is a mood board, and this is just where I drop like all my inspo and take note of things that I like. I mentioned my friend Kara has this knitting pattern with a similar look, so I included the sweater that I've knit with that pattern as well as one of hers, because I do love the look of just like a simple color changing yarn. And then here I dropped some inspo photos with color combos I really like. And you can actually drag in a color swatch and directly pick up the colors from the photo to help you like figure out what yarn to buy. I just have some inspo photos with cool design elements I like. So I love this very balloon style with a cute little star closure in the front. It's cool how this sweater alternates a really thick and thin yarn. Now, if we go back, I also have a board for my materials, and this is where I curate specific yarn combinations just using the yarn I already own. So for the yarn where like I know what it is, I'll pull in photos directly from the website, a swatch as well if they have it, and I'll link directly to the product page. You can see I also have some photos that I just uploaded from my phone. That's like the yarn where I no longer have the label, so I don't know what it is. And I like to create a color swatch for everything because it's easy to drag the colors around and see what looks good together. This vibrant pink and blue actually look really cute together, but I also love how the 2 shades of blue look and the 2 shades of pink, something more complementary. I actually get a lot of questions about how I pick my color combos, and you can see here for the multicolored yarns, I will pick out all the different colors, and that just makes it easy to see what solid colors fit into the color story. So for example, this green mohair fits really nicely with this color changing yarn that I got in Copenhagen. This muted pink mohair is just like perfect for this yarn because it has those shades of like pink, green, and yellow. And since I was leaning towards this one, I actually worked up a really quick swatch of the 2 colors together just to make sure I like how it looked. I tend to get really overwhelmed by how many ideas I have, so Milanote just helps me get everything out of my head into a nice visual format. It's also really nice because I'm only making one version of this sweater now, but when I want to make another one eventually, I can just come back and reference this board for like the other ideas that I had. And if you're interested in trying out Milanote for yourself, you can just sign up for free using the link in my description down below. Now I'm actually about to head out because it's a beautiful day outside, so I'm meeting up with Emily at Domino Park. She has to bead and I have to crochet, so we're having like a little craft date. And all I'm doing from here is just like working the stripes and working straight up until we get to the like armpit height. So yeah, let's go. Where'd you go?
Halloween.
Oh my god.
That area?
tie-ish.
Yeah, I want a tie makeup for my wedding. I need you to learn to do hair, like professionally, so you can do my wedding hair.
Pressure.
I just hope they're not like glossy.
Yeah. Starfish. So pretty. Okay, hi guys. Look, I'm matching with Cupid today. I realized I never introduced my elephant. He is actually a 15-pound weighted plushie. I got him to hopefully help with my anxiety, but I now like carry him around like a baby and like burp him like this. I don't know, but it really, like, he's brought a lot of joy to my life, so I feel like it was a very good investment. Okay, Cupid needs to sit down. So this is what we have so far. There are a few things I didn't exactly plan for. First off, I started to get paranoid that I'm gonna run out of this yarn. I definitely have more of the mohair. So that's why you can see these stripes are a little bit thinner than the mohair stripes. These ones are like 3 rounds of triple crochet and the mohair is 4 rounds of triple crochet. I worked the mohair rows in what I call an extended triple crochet. I used it in like my striped mohair bolero pattern. It's basically when I just kind of pull my hook out as I do the stitch and it creates like a longer stitch. So you can see that these are both triple crochet, but these stitches are a lot longer. The thing is, when I do that, it also makes the stitches a little bit looser. So that's why you can see like this mohair portion is a little bit wider than like the wool, but I actually don't mind it. Like I'm kind of embracing it. It's very possible that I finish the sweater and it's all just like one width. It's obviously not a very big or noticeable difference, but that's what I'm doing for now. I just measured like these 2 stripes together are 5 inches. And so I'm thinking I want the whole length of the sweater to be around like 18 to 20 inches. So I'll probably do like 3 sets of these 2 stripes and then end at the very top with the wool. Because when I'm using a mohair and a non-mohair yarn, I usually try and do the bottom row and the very top row in the non-mohair yarn, just because it's a little bit more structured. For now, we just need to work up until this armpit portion, and then we're gonna split into the front panel and the back panel. But our Wi-Fi is down, and I want to be able to watch TV while I crochet, so we're gonna go to a cafe and crank this out. It's also a really beautiful day outside, and it's gonna kind of darken my room, so I figure I should head out. Okay, basically this project was on hold for a little bit because I ran out of the mohair yarn. So I got, I think, 3 more of these. I also got, look, this like kind of green and blue color for an upcoming project that I'm really excited about. I love this color combo. Anyway, I digress. Let me show you how much of this sweater we have done. Oh my gosh, this crochet hook is literally attached to it. We split the round into like 2 halves. So the back panel is just like a rectangle, pretty straightforward. The front panel, I don't know if you can tell, we had to work like these 2 upper parts separately, and we did some decreases along the edge to get the curve of the neckline. You can really customize how you do the neckline. Like you can make it much further down, you can make it more narrow, or you can make it wider. I kind of wanted like a higher, wider boat neck. And then you can see, let me just put this on. It's gonna look stupid over what I'm wearing, but whatever. Okay, so you can see here we have the front panel, there's the back panel, and we just have to attach the two right up here to create the shoulder seams. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling kind of iffy about this yarn combo, but now that the vest portion is done, I actually think it's very cute. Like, I like it. I'm a little bit worried about running low on this yarn though, like the lighter colored yarn. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do as many stripes on the sleeves as we have on the body. Also, I do have testers for this pattern. If you're not familiar, it's just where you have a group of people work up your pattern before you release it, because they can tell you how much yarn they use, give you feedback. And then I also have photos of a bunch of different styles and sizes of the pattern for my listing. And my pattern testers are starting to send photos of their sweaters, and they're picking such cute yarns and colors. I am so excited, and I'm also like, why are your sweaters cuter than mine, low key? Now, I know I mentioned my pattern testers. This is another thing that's really helpful to plan and Milanote. You can see here I have a full timeline for the process, and basically I create a Google form for people to apply, and then I go through all the responses and choose a group of testers that will give me a variety of sizes, styles, colors. And you can see here I've just linked the form and the responses for easy access. And then this mood board is so cool because I can invite my testers to collaborate on this. So you can see they've put in their inspo, what yarn they're using, the color swatches. This is really helpful because I can visualize and make sure that I have like a good variety of styles to showcase the pattern. Also, totally forgot to mention this earlier, they have this really cool clipper tool extension. So let's say I have this sweater on my Pinterest board that I want to save on a Milanote board. Instead of downloading the image and then uploading to Milanote, I can just click this extension, save it directly to my board, and it will show up right here and I can go ahead and drag it in. It's funny because a bunch of my testers were like, wait, this Milanote thing is so cool. I'm going to start using it for my projects. Now, if we click back, I also have this little note where I brain dumped words I associate with the design, as well as some suggestions from y'all. Right now, I'm leaning towards Easy Breezy as a pattern name because I feel like it conveys the fact that the sweater is actually pretty easy to work up, but I think Airy Fairy could be cute. I'm going to come up with a few options and ask on Instagram, and you can see I also have this to-do list, which is where I scribble tasks when I think of them. So I can go ahead and add right now post poll for pattern name. And there we go. And now it's time for us to crank out these sleeves.
Cheers, or are you feeding the camera?
Cheers.
There we go. There we go.
It's thick.
I hit a blockage.
Okay, y'all, I have a kind of insane confession. Basically, as you probably saw in the last clip, I was not really feeling the sleeve, and it's because it wasn't big enough. And that's because the gap that I left for the armhole in the vest portion wasn't big enough. And normally when I make sweaters, I know that I want the sleeve width to basically be like almost half the torso. But I was working on this while I was recording my podcast and I wasn't paying attention. I just like kept going. And then by the time I finished the podcast, I had already finished more than half the torso. And I was like, whatever, that's probably enough space for the armhole. But it wasn't. So I did undo that entire sleeve and then undo the entire upper half, like front and back panel, so that I could like split the round earlier and make a larger armhole. I'm really scared I'm gonna watch this back and realize that it doesn't actually look that different, because obviously frogging that much mohair took a truly ungodly amount of time. But I'm actually just insane. Like, I truly think that was one of the most unnecessary moves I've ever made. But the move isn't made, so whatever. It's too freaking late. So here's what we have right now. I know I said I wasn't sure if I was gonna do like the stripes to match the torso, just because I wasn't sure if I was gonna have enough of this yarn. I did do all 3 stripes, but this is how much yarn I have left for the other sleeve. So that may have been a highly questionable move on my part. The striping pattern I did is also a little bit weird. Basically, I did like 5 rows of the mohair so that this stripe on the sleeve would line up with this stripe on the torso. Then I did 4 rows of the mohair so these 2 stripes would line up. And then I did 5 rounds of the mohair to make the sleeve long enough so the stripes are actually not even, but I feel like it's not that noticeable. I also did 4 decreases on the last round just to cinch in the sleeve a little bit. And so now all I have to do is the other sleeve. Yay! Oh my gosh, guys, I have been so obsessed with 2 Netflix TV shows. It's Halloween. It's the Sunday of Halloween, and I have not left my apartment since Thursday, really not living up my 20s. I've just kind of been in like a hermit era recently. The first one is Popstar Academy Cat's Eye, about that like global girl group that's like K-pop training, but they're not a K-pop group. I was so locked in. Like, I just like love any of the like singing or dancing or performer docu-series. Like, I loved like DCC, like the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders one. And now I'm obsessed with the girl group. They're all so beautiful and talented. And the other one that everyone was trying to put me on was, I forgot what it's called exactly, like Class Culinary Wars. It's a Korean cooking show. And originally I didn't want to watch it because I have to like read the subtitles for that. So it's a little bit harder to watch while crocheting. But this one's pretty easy to follow. And it's so good. It's kind of like Physical 100 or they're like the other competitive Korean shows, but for cooking. And I'm not done with it. So I am actually leaving my apartment because I really should go get some like vitamin D. But I'm leaving my apartment to go to a cafe to continue binging Netflix. So that's my crazy city girl New York life. Also, I showed you how I use Milanote in the sort of like inspo planning process, but it's also really great for keeping track of information as I'm making a piece. So you can see this diagrams and measurements board is kind of just my brain dump where I put all my notes before I write the final pattern. So on the left, I have some diagrams from my previous pattern, the mesh button up, as well as a link directly to that board because the construction is kind of similar. I'm also keeping track of like stitch counts, sweater measurements, like the number of chains, number of rows. And you can see I have some sketches and notes that I just do directly into the board, like on my touchscreen laptop. But sometimes I prefer to do physical sketches in my notebook. And all I have to do is upload the photos from my phone using the Milanote app, and then they'll just pop up right here under this phone icon, and I can drag them in wherever I'd like. Same thing goes for images from the process. I like to include these in the pattern as well, just to give people a visual aid. And I try to upload them to Milanote as soon as I take them, because otherwise they get like so lost in my camera roll. And I'm actually going to leave a little reminder for myself in here that in the pattern I should mention, if you want a baggy sleeve, make it like close to half the length of your piece, because clearly that was something that I forgot. This was supposed to be like such an easy, straightforward piece, and I feel like it became so unnecessarily difficult, but there's like actually no one to blame for that besides me. I'm just gonna throw on a little sweater and head out the door and crank out this last sleeve so that we'll be done. Speaking of throwing on a sweater, this is the stuck to the chair. This is the Emile cardigan from Cezanne. It's definitely an investment piece. I have thought about it for a full year before pulling the trigger, but I fear it's so worth it. Like, I'm obviously really picky about sweaters as someone who knits and crochets, and the material is so nice. It's soft, not itchy. I size up to a medium. I feel like it's the perfect kind of oversized fit. You can wear it just like this or buttoned all the way up. I also love it with just like the top button done. I obviously got it in black, my favorite color, but they have so many cute colors. I want like the bright red one, the cobalt blue one, the pastel yellow one. Like, if you're going to get one just like goes with everything sweater that you can wear for a lifetime, this is it. Okay, not to plug another product, but I know I'm gonna get questions when you see this bag. It's the Sign bag from Pelen. I think it's the perfect office bag if you want something kind of unique and still chic for outside of the office. I obviously don't go to the office anymore, but I carry my laptop to cafes to edit like all the time. And you can kind of press these sides out like this for this style, which I also think is really cute. It's just my go-to black bag, like whether I'm carrying my laptop or not.
사랑한다고 말해줬다면 믿어줄 수 있겠니? 넌 오직 상처만 받고 있었지. 미안해 baby 네가 없는 현실 너무나도 비참해 There's no one 너 같은 너만 고통받고 있는 게 아니야 나도 아파 yeah baby A-E-I-O-U means I love you and nothing else will do Baby I owe you, oh yes I do An explanation baby yeah
Okay, hi guys, it's the next day. I have a bit of a confession. I blocked the sweater last night. Well, that's not the confession, but I feel like I kept talking about how it was cool that like, oh, the mohair part's looser and then like the other yarn kind of cinches it in. And I want to have a balloon sleeve and I want the body of the sweater to be kind of cinched on the bottom. And I tried it on and it was cute, but it was just like not my style. So I blocked it basically into the exact same fit of like every other sweater that I've knit or crocheted. Like it's just this very standard slouchy oversized and I basically straightened out the sleeves and the torso. I'm just gonna try it on for you guys. Okay, you'll be shocked to see that I've actually styled the sweater instead of just throwing it on with jeans like I usually do. I have these like bow pattern tights and these little white kitten heels. Not exactly my style, but I'm trying to lean into the cutesy pastel universe of this color scheme. And you can see it really does fit like the same way all my other sweaters fit, but this is just the type of sweater that I like. And if you wanted to like make the bottom cinched after blocking, you could just go ahead and add like a round of single crochet or slip stitches to the bottom of the sleeves and bottom of the torso to kind of bring it back in. Actually, in my case, I would not be able to do that because I literally had like this much of this yarn left when I was done. When I was at the cafe yesterday, I was literally like praying to the yarn gods, like, I need to win this game of yarn chicken because I don't even remember where I got this yarn. And luckily it worked out and I did finish the sweater. The reason I'm like all dressed up is because after this, I'm gonna go meet up with my friend, get some photos. I like to put the final photos on my Milanote board to keep track of all the different versions I made. I'll also drop in like my YouTube video link. And if you want to try out Milanote for yourself, you can just click on the link in my description down below and sign up for free. I put so many people on. I just like used to have all my stuff in so many disparate places. Like I had inspo on Pinterest, photos in my camera roll, notes in my notes app, stuff in my physical sketchbook, all this stuff on like Google Drive. And I've accepted that my creative process is very chaotic, but I feel like Milanote helps me be chaotic but still organized at the same time, if that makes sense. I am so excited for this pattern release. Y'all need to go click on the listing and see these sweaters that my pattern testers made because they crushed it. First of all, like, it's hard to believe all the sweaters are made with the same pattern because they have such different styles. There's like an all white version, there's a color block one, there's some striped ones. I'm also really excited because I feel like it's just generally a good guide for how to build a garment. Like if you've crocheted a lot of accessories, but you're less familiar with how to build the panels to make like a shirt or a sweater, I feel like it'll be really, really helpful. So I'm so excited to see what everyone makes. And thank you in advance for purchasing and for all the support because pattern sales do mean a lot to your girl. Yeah, and I think that brings us, what is this random end I didn't weave in? I think that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to follow my other socials at amazingishgrace, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.
You left the kitchen light on and it's 2 to go.